what they have done to our country by allowing these millions and millions of people to come into our country, and look at what's happening to the towns all over the United States. And a lot of towns don't want to talk. It's not going to be Aurora or Springfield. A lot of towns don't want to talk about it because they're so embarrassed by it.
All right, the cats and dogs quote has taken the media by storm, and I get it. But we can't ignore the real point that Trump is trying to make here, the issue of immigration and how it's impacting American towns and cities. And no, this isn't about being anti-immigrant. It's about addressing the chaos that comes with the way immigration is being handled right now under the Biden and Harris regime. The fact is, when we have an open border and no real control over who's coming in, it's not just a problem, it's a crisis. J.D. Vance talks about the real issue with the woke immigration policy that is hurting the American people.
Now, look, we also have to talk about and should primarily talk about the effects that this has had on car insurance rates, on disease rates. Those are the things that I'm spending 95% of my time talking about, Kristen. But again, the media didn't care about this story until we started sharing the 911 call about the geese. That is an indictment of the American media. But the real problem here, Kristen, let me just finish this point, is Kamala Harris opened the border with no plan for how to assimilate 20,000 people. It's made the community worse off. That's what we should be focused on.
That should be the main focus point. They have no plan. You can't just drop thousands of people in a new place with no plan and think the system won't crack. It will. Let's talk about what happens to small towns across the country when they're overrun by this massive influx of people. A lot of these towns don't have the resources to deal with such an overwhelming number of newcomers. Hospitals, schools, and local services get stretched thin. And who ends up paying the price? The people who already live there. Small towns are getting slammed with the costs of healthcare, education, and even housing, and it's hurting American families who are already struggling to make ends meet.
Some of these citizens have testified in front of the city council saying that it's really chaos, that there's been cars burning, cars flipped, that they feel unsafe in their community. Keep in mind, this is just failed federal policy. This is a community about 60,000 people. I'm from Ohio, about 30 or 40 minutes from Springfield. This is a community that has a poverty rate of about 20%, very working community. And so federal policy led, while these are illegal migrants, this is 20,000 people coming into a community of 60,000 people being completely overrun. It doesn't matter if they're migrants from Haiti or California. The schools are being overrun. The social services are being overrun. That is poor federal planning.
Just to be clear, I mean, when you use terms like overrun, I think that's actually part of the problem. I mean, Governor Mike DeWine has talked about this. First of all, he's confirmed in his understanding there's no evidence of this whole thing with pets. But he also made the point that these people are coming into this town. Yeah, there are a lot of them, but they're filling jobs that were open. Jobs that were not being filled until they got there. And that the employers are saying they're good workers, they're hard workers, we need them. And so overrun, I think, is a turn of phrase that is designed to make people feel like there is some kind of
That's what the citizens are saying. That's what the citizens on the ground are saying. That's not my words, that's theirs. So let's also listen to these people's concerns. I don't think it's fair to pick apart rhetoric when these people are having real problems.
You see how the CNN host tries to pick out one single word to crucify the whole point. Yes, these immigrants may be hardworking, but the citizens who have been there for generations should not be dismissed. These are the people that have to live there, and this is their real-life concerns.
Ohio is facing a significant housing crisis as thousands of Haitian migrants have arrived on their doorstep because of the federal government. The Haitian migrant population in the city has skyrocketed to an estimated 50 to 20,000. That is about 1/3 of the city's entire population. Rob Rue is the mayor of Springfield, Ohio, and Brian Heck is the city manager, and they both join me now. Good morning to you both. Mayor Rue, tell us what's going on in Springfield.
Well, what we've seen is just such a quick increase of our population over the last 5 years. This has overwhelmed our safety services and caused great concern for our community.
The homeless problem. I don't know of a single homeless Haitian in this town because they all got vouchers. But I can show you a whole bunch of people that have been displaced because I'm that guy. Rob, you know, for 25 years I've worked with the homeless in this community. You know, a lot of people don't know because I'm not the guy out there blowing the horn. Because it ain't about me. It's the Jesus in me that goes out there and does it. Trust me, there's days I'm tired. But I'll get into homeless camps that nobody in a suit and tie will walk into. None. They trust me because I've never let them down. You know, and guys, if you don't think it's here right now, in October, we are getting ready to hit a wall here. There is not any relief for the homeless. The homeless people in this community are not the people you think they are. The squatters that aren't happening. It's not there. There's veterans. Come see me. I'm not real hard to find. Ask anybody on the street. They'll tell you how to get a hold of me. I'll take you there. And no, they don't want your toothpaste and your peanut butter sandwiches. They want you to come up with a solution to why they're displaced, why they lived in a house. I personally know, and I'll testify under oath, my hand to God, somebody that lost their house. They were there 7 years. The landlord said, hey, I need you to move out, find a temporary place. I'm going to remodel it, and then you can come back.
Thank you, Barron.
It was a lie. They moved them out, tripled the rent.
Thank you.
Follow
Thank you for speaking.
the money.
Brian, you're the city manager. Tell us more and how this influx is impacting the city.
Yeah, certainly. Thank you for having us on this morning. You know, when we see a 25% increase over a 3-year period, we're a community, we do not have the capacity to sustain that. And it's taxing our infrastructure. It's taxing public safety. It's taxing our schools. It's taxing healthcare. And as J.D. Vance spoke on, it's taxing our housing. We had a housing shortage well before this immigration crisis that's impacted our community, and this has just made it 100 times worse. And so it's setting communities like Springfield up to fail.
What we need is a secure border and a sensible immigration policy that protects American workers, families, and communities. It's not about shutting people out. It's about making sure that immigration happens legally and responsibly. When towns are overrun and Americans are paying the price, something has to change. Local law enforcement is overwhelmed, and the federal government, under Democrat leadership, isn't just stopping it, they are incentivizing it. This is the policy that they've pushed.
Starting with our administration, we gave TPS, temporary protected status, to Haitian migrants, 55,000. And then more recently, we extended temporary protected status to over 100,000 Haitian migrants for that very reason.
But on the other hand, this is Donald Trump's message.
Make this into an incredible country that can afford to take care of its people, and then we'll worry about the rest of the world. Let's help other people. But we're going to take care of our country first. This is about America first. It's about make America great again. We have to do it because right now we're a failing nation. So we'll take care of it. Thank you. Very good question. Thank you.